Hey, I found this son of a gun at friggin' Target for $9. It's a Mechagodzilla from the American movies, the legendary series, the Monsterverse, as they call it. That's a dumb name. They should have just went with legendary since that's the name of the studio. But man, this is one of them Playmates figures. They're pretty basic, but he's big. And I don't really have a version of this fella. So, I mean, shoot, I get those Super 7 figures are like $20. Look at this fella. So let's get him out of the box. Okay, so I just unboxed the sucker and popped his tail in, which took a little bit of force. But I have overall, like, well, you know what? I'd say my first impressions, but I've barely touched the guy since I put the tail on. So you're literally getting my first impressions as I move him around. I don't even know his full articulation. He doesn't have any elbow articulation, which is a big bummer. And none for his wrist or his hands at all. I would have liked a ball joint right there between his hand and his arm there, even if we don't get a elbow joint there. But yeah, we do have good shoulder movement if you look at how that goes on there. So swivels all the way around. We get these pads up here, but like, yeah, can totally go all the way around. The legs are a little floppy, I'm noticing. Like, you can see what kind of joint we have in there. This goes all the way around and it kind of notches in like that. We also have knee joint, which is cool, and that actually goes out this way, which is interesting. We have a little bit of swivel there. Doesn't go up or down, it just swivels side to side. But yeah, I'm kind of having trouble getting him in a good standing pose just because of how he balances, and his tail doesn't move out. It, like, you can move it around, but you can't really move it up further than that. And it doesn't really have any movement otherwise. So that's a little bit of a bummer. Gonna have trouble getting him in a decent pose at all. But he's a cool looking figure. A lot of good sculpted detail throughout. He's a lot darker than I would have liked. I would have liked him a little bit lighter than this, but still pretty cool. He's got this chest piece here, so it looks like this is battle damage or something like that. So that's pretty neat. Fun little play feature you can mess around with, and it looks good clicked in and attached, or just left off. And we also have this energy blast here, so that's pretty cool. We can just shove that up in his mouth there. It looks like he's frying some folks. Overall, I thought I'd be more stoked on him than I actually am, but he is a $9 Playmate figure. But I like those other ones. The Shimu and the Godzilla I got were a lot better. Just the way his legs are working, I can't get a good pose with the guy. At least not flopped over. Yeah, and that's the thing is, with how heavy he is, he just kind of sinks down low even when I put him upright. Yeah, that's kind of lame. Can't really get too good of a pose with him. But he is pretty cool. I dig him. And I like how we have the translucent plastic all the way down. Yeah, see, his legs giving way. That's the thing. I don't like this. It spins too much. That's the big problem with this figure more than anything, is his legs just not holding him up. I think that just might be my figure, though, and not the figure in general, because I know sometimes you just get a lemon of a figure. But for a size comparison, here he is with my Mechagodzilla. NECA, not really sure how you pronounce it, but pretty good comparable size there. Depending on how upright we get him, maybe yeah. But for a more accurate look, Here he is having a battle with my Shimu 2-pack Godzilla from the new movie. And that's also Playmates, and you can see they scale really well with each other. They're just about the same height. They have the exact same sort of energy blast. In fact, you know, just out of curiosity, because I've not actually checked, let's see if these are actually compatible or not. I bet they are, but you know what? That one doesn't want to fit in. So how about that? Will this one fit in Godzilla's mouth? Yeah, you know, I'm looking at the size of the pegs are different. So that's funny. I would have thought they would have just used the same sort of blast effect molds. But that's curious. That's curious. Well, anyhow, let's set him aside. And for another comparison, this is a more recent acquisition. This is a Super 7 Deluxe figure, and you can see it's quite a bit smaller. And this is the same robot, but much, much, much smaller. I got this guy at the Five Below a couple years back, and he was what, $4, $4 and change. His tail does not go all the way down, sadly, and that's actually the same with this one too. As you can see, that was my big disappointment with this figure, was he had this awesome translucent plastic here, and then it went into just painted, and it didn't even look the same color. Like, that looks salmon, and this looks like super bright neon. So yeah, very, very bummer, very big bummer. But this guy's pretty cool. You know, he's honestly a bit bigger than I thought he'd be when I get him out of the package and see him standing upright. His big problem is the whole flumping over with his legs, but looks like I got him in a good spot here, and he's holding himself good. I like how he looks. I just wish he was a little bit lighter plastic so we could get a better look at all the sculpted details there. You know what I'm saying? But he's a lot of fun, and for $9, I mean, shoot, you can spend $9 a hell of a lot worse than this. And like, I'm just imagining him doing some breakdancing or something. Woo! Jazz hands. You know, just having a good time. Anyhow, thanks for joining me and digging into some Godzilla shit, and we'll talk to you later.